In this lesson, which is Photopea Lesson D, you will learn how to add color to your line art drawings that you have already cleaned up in Photopea.
We are creating a digital coloring book.
I've used this technique many times, especially for this poster for the National Energy Foundation on the properties of fertilizers. So, let's get started.
Open that file in Photopea and check that it still has 3 layers. The background layer will act as your guide for selecting areas in which to add color on the color layer. Let's start with an area where you want to add a solid color. Use the Magic Wand selection tool and click on the white pixels of this area in your background layer, making sure that the tool's options are set to contiguous with about a tolerance of 30. Now, click on the color layer and choose the selection menu, and expand the selection by about 2 pixels. The marching ants, which don't really march in Photopea, will now cross into the dark lines. Use the color picker to choose the color that you want, and use Edit Fill from the top menu, not the one at the very top of your screen, but the top menu for Photopea, and then fill in the area. The lines will seem to shrink, but if you change the color layer's blending mode to darken, then Photopea will choose the darker of the 2 overlapping pixels.
This will eliminate having any light gray pixels around the edges of your colored area.
Keep doing this to fill in any solid colors throughout your image. Remember to only put color on the color layer, not on the background or border layers, and to always expand the selection by about 2 pixels.
But remember, you don't have to settle for just solid colors. It looks a lot more interesting if you use the gradient tool and choose 2, 3, or more colors at once.
To do this, choose the gradient tool and select the starting and ending colors. Then add any color tabs and change the midpoints to get the band of colors that you want. The first color on the left of the swatch is where you will start to drag the gradient tool, and the right tab's color will be where you let go of your drag. The color changes perpendicularly to the direction of your drag. This sounds complicated, but it's actually quite easy, like this.
In our next video, I'll show you how to use the gradient tool to simulate 3D effects.
As a final step, you can touch up the color using a soft paintbrush set to low opacity. Use this to add darker colors for shading, especially in people's faces, make their cheeks more rosy with shading around the eyes and nose. You can also use the dodge and burn tools, which are used to lighten and darken areas. Set to low opacity and a soft brush, these tools can be very effective for shading and highlights. Finally, inspect your image close up and look for any gray or white pixels in the corners, and choose the correct colors to fill them in.
Since the color layer is set to darken blending mode, as you paint in these extra pixels, you don't have to worry about coloring over the borders. They'll already show through.
Your project is starting to look good.
With a few more touches, such as adding text or adding images for textures, this will look great.